Senator Kavanagh, can you make the first motion?
Yes, I move that the report of the committee of the whole be adopted and the bills be properly signed.
Excellent. Senator Hoffman.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I move that the portion of the committee of the whole report that SB 1111 do pass as amended be amended to include the Hoffman floor amendment and exclude the Payne floor amendment, and I request a roll call vote.
Senator Gobaldon, seconds. Just a quick second here. All right, so this is open. Senate will now proceed to vote. Senator Hoffman, do you wish to? Okay, is it previous? Okay, thank you. Senator Hoffman.
Flame a vote.
Please.
Thank you. As a reminder for everybody on the floor, my amendment will gut this terrible mass surveillance bill. So voting yes will prevent the mass surveillance of the citizens of Arizona with automatic license plate readers. Voting no will allow enabling mass surveillance of our constituents. So I urge you all to vote yes.
Senator Hoffman votes aye. Senator Payne.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. During the cow, there were several.
Explain your vote.
Yes, I'm explaining my vote.
Please.
During the cow, there were several references to Silicon Valley. This bill was written right here in this building. It was written by staff and myself. We looked at Florida, we looked at Texas, we looked at a couple other states that had these, and that's where we got most of the language from. The amendment was helped out by our Senate President and myself and a few of the law enforcement people. At no time did Silicon Valley or any of them come in and write a single word in this bill. And I vote aye. I mean, nay.
Senator Payne votes no. Have you all voted? Senators Alston, Bullock, Bravo, Epstein, Farnsworth, Gowan, Hatathlie, Gobaldon, Miranda, Shamp, and Werner. How do you vote, Mr. President?
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I rise to explain my vote.
Please.
Mr. Pro Tem, it appears, this was a hostile amendment against the sponsor. And it appears the bill does not have the votes even on the underlying bill, which means that Arizona will remain status quo. The intent from the sponsors, I recall, was Representative Senator Finchem and Senator Payne. They had heard from constituents that they were concerned about these license plate readers. And so they wanted to run guardrails on this. So what this means, since it appears this bill will be dead, is that there will be no guardrails. It will allow mass surveillance with no accountability, with no warrants, and with no Class 6 felony for misuse. So now law enforcement can use these readers however they want to use them, because this bill is going to die. That is the fact. With that, I vote no on the hostile floor amendment that was offered.
President Petersen votes no. Senator Werner.
Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I am rise to explain my vote.
Please.
I sat in committee and I heard from stakeholders on both sides of this, and I was particularly compelled by Ms. Caldwell and Ms. Barber, and they raised some very good concerns and have been working with the sponsors to come up with something that would make this bill palatable and have the proper guardrails. And I understand that they're not there yet. I understand that Senator Payne is not there yet, but I am going to support the bill with the expectation that this will continue and that we get the right guardrails on in the House. With that, I vote no.
Senators Alston, Epstein, Farnsworth, Hatathlie, Gobaldon, Miranda, and Shamp. How do you vote? Senator Finchem.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to explain my vote.
Please.
Members, I find it interesting that for the months that this has been in conversation, nobody, including the sponsor of the hostile amendment, introduced a bill to have thoughtful conversation about prohibiting a tool that law enforcement uses, not indiscriminately, but with very precise attention to detail. Not one bill introduced prohibiting it. This looks like a political grandstand stunt, and quite frankly, I think it's offensive. With that, I'm a no.
Senator Finchem votes no. Senator Gabaldon, Hatathlie, Epstein, how do you vote? Senator Hatathlie.
Permission to explain my vote, please.
Please.
Thank you. I do know that this practice is already being utilized by law enforcement. I do know that. And aside from this topic, I heard something very interesting outside as I was coming in for this vote. And I was told that if this amendment goes through, there's going to be a consequence to it. And so here on the floor, here in this Senate, I have been working on an amendment to the turquoise alert. And this amendment, 1 minute it's doable, and then a few days later it's like, no, we're gonna have issues. And then today I'm being told that this amendment that we agreed to is too broad, and that there will be issues because more than 5,000 people go missing in a year. And this is coming from DPS. And the reason why I'm telling this story is, or this experience currently, and it's just been a crazy process. And I think they're playing games at this point. And they refuse to work with me, and for whatever reason will not come to an agreement. But with that being said, I was told if this amendment passes, then we're not going to be able to do the turquoise alert. And I find that absolutely appallable, and it's just absolutely disgusting to hear something like that. But at the end of the day, I think that an initiative without guardrails, without knowing where this data is going, without knowing who and what is a legitimate law enforcement officer, that's concerning for me. And so that's one of the reasons why I do not support this, and I would appreciate my colleagues voting in favor of the amendment. Thank you.
Senator Hatathlie votes aye. Senator Epstein.
I rise to explain my vote.
Please.
If this bill is not amended, I feel that it sets the stage for a secret police. The bill would then allow for surveillance, mass surveillance, but not the right to see what information is collected about yourself and no way to fix it. So in these times, we certainly want to avoid the potential for a secret police. As my colleague Senator Hatathlie also pointed out, without a good definition of what is a legitimate law enforcement use, this is very dangerous. It could be used for any number of things that would be awful, including tracking somebody who purchased a firearm or tracking somebody who had an abortion. That would be inappropriate. So we need better definitions. We need a lot of the answers to be answered, and I encourage more work to be done on this. I also think that everybody on this floor wants regulations on these cameras. There's no need for any accusations otherwise. So I encourage all of us to keep working together. And for now, I vote yes.
Senator Epstein votes aye. Senator Farnsworth.
Mr. President Pro Tem, I'd like to explain my vote.
Please.
I will say simply, when I first saw two bills assigned to my committee on this subject. I was very uncomfortable from the beginning. I was convinced with the amendments it was a good idea. However, I've been very moved by Senator Hoffman's remarks. And so my no vote here is because I consider this a procedural vote. And with that, I vote nay.
Thank you. System's closed. Secretary, record the vote by your vote of 14 ayes, 16 nays. You're not voting. You have failed the Hoffman motion. And we are back to the original motion made by the majority leader. All those in favor vote aye. Opposed vote no. Appears the ayes have it. Do you have it so ordered?